Mr. Chairman, thanks for the time here. Do you expect Democrats are going to chair any committees this legislature?
I think Democrats will.
You think so?
Yes. Because I think we have a speaker now who understands that sometimes the best person for a committee may not be a Republican, but might be a Democrat. And they're going to see, I think they're going to see who is the best for the job before they determine, well, you're disqualified by the letter behind your name.
Did the speaker offer this to you guys?
No. The thing, I think what we had talked about is that we should not close ourselves to the idea that Democrats are just a part of the process, and if we need a Democrat as a chair for a committee, then we should do it, right? Burrows in our discussions never said no to Democratic chairmanship.
Why did you guys decide about Burrows over David Cook?
I think for the first time, well, in my political life, we have a very black and white choice. You have Cook, who's a very nice man, but the people around him and the policy that he's pushing basically says that half of Texans just will not have representation, that their members won't get to do anything, they won't be able to pass any bills, they won't, basically having no voice. And not only is that just unfair, but you don't want half the population of the state to not have representation, to not be able to get what they need for their communities. And the reason Democrats were supporting Dustin, or just supporting Representative Burrows, is because they said, look, he says, I understand because I'm a state representative. My people's issues are different from your people's issues. We need everyone to have a fair shot of getting something for their community.
Did David Cook say you're not going to get certain things in your negotiations? Well, what did he say that the Democrats wouldn't get?
Well, I mean, not the least of all, but he signed a pledge. He signed a public pledge that he would not pass a single Democratic bill until every single Republican priority was passed, which means essentially in our language, you will never pass a bill.
Wow. One person said that this floor fight for Speaker made the House weaker politically. Do you think it did?
No, I think complete opposite. I think what Texans should see is you finally now have a body of people who is standing up to money, who is standing up to the billionaires, who is standing up to the bullying, who is standing up to the outside, out-of-state influences that trying to tell us what we need instead of us telling what we need. And that's what this fight was about. This is about a group of Republicans who said, we're sick of it. We're sick of being told by out-of-state billionaires what to do. We're being sick of being told that we have to do this because blah, blah, blah. I know what our people need. Let's just go do those things. And we say, look, we agree. Our people need those same things. Why don't we just work on those? And sort of, like I have this proposal, like, look, we're here 5 times a decade. How about one of those 5 times we actually do the things that Texans need us to do and fix the things that Texans need us to fix? The other 4 times, sure, pass whatever nonsense bill you want, right? But one time out of a decade, let's fix things.
Does Dustin Burrows, do you think, stand up like Dade Phelan did to school choice?
I don't think it's necessarily even needed that he stands up to it. It's more important that the House stands up to it. Because again, we're talking about things that the public, that we say like we should work on the things that like everybody agrees to. We should work on the things that like 70, 80% of Texans agree we should work on and fix. And I have not heard anybody in my community say, well, if you give $8,000 to wealthy families who already have children in private schools that costs $40, $50 a year, that helps them. That's something that they want, that's something that they need, that's something that moves them forward, that's something that helps working class families. When I hear that from my people, we'll talk. But until that day happens, the vast majority of Texans have said no to vouchers because giving the wealthy more money, giving the wealthy our money, doesn't help anyone.
There are more votes, though, right now for school vouchers than there were last session. The Attorney General, the governor successfully primaried Republicans and got new faces in there, though. Are we closer to school vouchers than ever before? Do you think school vouchers are a likelihood this session?
I think that the Republicans, well, not the Republicans, I think that the people who are pushing vouchers can't count. And here's why I say that. Because, look, on the anti-voucher side, I don't even say Democratic side, because this is a bipartisan agreement. This is a bipartisan coalition of people who oppose vouchers. On the anti-voucher side, we oppose vouchers, period. But on the pro-voucher side, tell me what the plan is. What kind of voucher program are we going to do? What kind of voucher program is acceptable? I'm sure there's lots of people on that side who say, well, we support vouchers, but some of them might say, well, we only support a very small voucher program. But that does not give money to people who already have kids in private school. But other people in the segment, no, we want a massive voucher programs, $3-4 billion, and we're going to give it all. And if there are people who already have kids in private school, we don't care. Well, that block may not agree to that, right? And so before people say we can pass vouchers, tell me what you're going to pass. Show us the bill. And to this day, they have not filed a bill, and they have not filed a bill for a reason. Because the moment they do, their coalition is going to start breaking apart.
Gene, how do Democrats exert any influence right now? You have less members than you did last session. You're a new leader, though. What should we be watching for?
Democrats have been out of power in the state for almost 30 years. Republicans have had an iron grip on this state for 30 years. Yet we still face the exact same problems that we have faced for 30 years. What Democrats will do is what Democrats have always done. That we will get up there and be the conscience of the state, saying, how does banning books improve my wages? How does banning drag shows increase my income? How does doing all these things lower the cost of food, lower the cost of housing, help me have reliable power? And one of the big issues that we all have discussed recently, water. This is going to be the next massive crisis, and we have to address it before it becomes the next massive crisis. And we will never touch those things as long as we're focused on the nonsense.
As far as exerting influence, though, are there some issues aside from school choice do you think Democrats really have a shot at influencing?
I don't think it's even a matter of influencing. It is simply that those things need to be done. Democrats are here. We are knowledgeable. We are prepared. We are skilled. We are going to be a part of the process to help figure out what is the right answer, right? Our ability to be a part of the process is simply that we're here and that we now have a speaker who is going to allow us to be a part of the process and have our input and use our expertise to help guide the state.
Last question, just to clarify this. Did Dustin Burrows offer Democrats anything in exchange for votes?
No, because that would be against the law.
And vote, because Cook didn't either, obviously.
Correct, as far as I understand.
Yeah. But in negotiations with Dustin Burrows, did he tell you that, listen, if you vote for me, if you support me, you're going to have a better shot at X, Y, or Z?
Well, that actually, yes. Because if you vote for... Democrats supported Dustin Burrows because we believe that he is a man of his word and that he will and when he says that he will make sure that Democrats have the ability to pass bills, have the ability to be a part of the process, we believe him, right? Because he is someone that we consider an institutionalist and someone who believes in the value of having the Texas House. Because ultimately, this is really where stuff gets done. The House is is the closest to the people. The problems that we help people fix are problems that don't go to the senators, right? So they don't necessarily, they run once every 4 years. We run once every 2 years. We are constantly talking to people, campaigning, working with people, figuring out what's wrong, and making promises like, I'll fix that, I'll fix this, I'll fix that, right? So the House is, they always say the Senate is the deliberative body. No, the House is the deliberative body.
And why do you think that Dustin Burrows would appoint Democrats as chairs? His political life could be on the line by doing that.
I think the best way I can explain it is, as sick and as tired as Democrats are of the bickering, of the backstabbing, of slashing at each other at every opportunity, they're sick of it too. Republicans are sick of it. And there's a big block of Republicans who just say, like, we just want to fix the things that people want fixed. And I think he sees that. And I think he sees that simply saying, we're blocking you out because of the letter behind your name is not only unfair, but you have basically knocked out half your team. You need everyone, because everyone here has different levels of expertise in different areas, and we want everyone to be able to excel and Texans demand that we should have our best people working on each issue. The person who is best at working on water should work on water. The person who knows most about power should work on electricity, and so on and so forth. That may not always be a Republican.
Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Absolutely.